You're listening to a Countout Podcast.
What it is, what's up, and welcome everyone to Faces and Feels. I'm your host, Rafe Houston, and today I'm joined by a very special guest. Now, before I hand the mic over to my guy here, I got to do the proper introduction, right? He is the cold-hearted player, the squat god, the sole owner and proprietor of ICW No Holds Barred, my fucking guy, Danny fucking DeManto. How are you, my man?
I am definitely your guy because I definitely wouldn't be doing one of these interviews right now if it wasn't you
Thank you.
asking the questions.
I love that. I know you don't do these too often. I think I've only ever seen you do one other one since we last spoke like 2.5 years ago prior to your other trip to Australia. So I'm really, really excited that you're going to be back.
I don't do often.
Yeah.
I don't do them often.
I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you putting aside an evening for me. And we, like you said, like before we started this, we're like, we need to actually hit record because otherwise we're just going to end up fucking banging on for an hour and be like, oh, we're out of time. So
Absolutely. And not even realize that we're not recording.
exactly right. We're already into it. So, dude, thank you so much. I'm so excited for everything you've got coming up, and I'm really excited to have a chance to highlight it to everybody. ICW No Holds Barred coming off a huge weekend down in Chattanooga, but we are going to be talking about everything leading into the Australian tour, the Deathmatch Down Under Tag Team Dream Tournament, and also ICW No Holds Barred in Japan. Holy fuck.
Oh,
Man, you've been busy.
there's yeah. There's definitely some fireworks going off lately.
Absolutely. How's it feel? Because, I mean, you've obviously, these are things that you've been working towards. I remember when we were chatting at the last one, just even coming to Australia was a crazy thing to do. Now you're not only doing that and then leapfrogging onto Japan and then leapfrogging onto Scotland. Like, it's worldwide right now. That's pretty amazing.
We have more international shows booked, announced right now than we do national shows.
That's crazy.
Announced right now.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
there is more, obvious local shows that I haven't announced yet. But
Yeah.
on paper, people know more international shows than national shows, which is so crazy to me.
It is.
You know?
It is. Do you think that speaks to, and it definitely speaks to it for me, when I first watched ICW No Holds Barred, I had heard the buzz about Volume 1, then Volume 2 drops in COVID in that parking lot, Atlantic City, I believe it was, number 2.
Yep.
It was in a time when, like, nobody could watch wrestling. And then you guys run, and you guys did something very, very special that day. Do you think, as weird as it is when you look at this timeline, do you think if COVID hadn't happened, you would almost be in a different position? Like, it gave you guys like an opportunity to step into the fucking limelight and carry wrestling on your back for a while there. And I think that really increased your reach, because I know for me as like an Australian fan, I probably never would have locked into you guys like I did if you weren't like carrying it for me during that time,
We definitely wouldn't have gotten that fast of a worldwide connection.
Sure.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Volume 1 did like crazy record-breaking numbers at the time on IWTV.
Yeah, I remember it was real big. Yeah.
I don't know if it has ever been surpassed or whatnot. It was a different time. Actually, it was surpassed by Volume 2, but Volume 2 was watched by so many people because the world was so shut down.
Yeah.
Do I think that ICW would be right where we are right now?
Mhm.
No, because the butterfly effect is what it is. But
Yeah.
if you think back, if the world didn't shut down, the original Volume 2 lineup
Uh-huh.
that was going to happen at the White Eagle Hall
Uh-huh.
was only half announced, but the halfway point had Nick Gage versus Pagano, S.A. Rios versus Tony Deppen, Big F and Joe was making his debut at
That's
that time against Matt Tremont. Tessa Blanchard versus Amazing Red,
yeah, wow,
and all of those things were going to happen on the same show. And we were going to stay on that like White Eagle Hall level of violence instead
yes,
of going like full death.
full death,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, absolutely,
Um, Deathmatch was always in the roots though.
yeah,
I committed once we decided to bring GCW to where it was going to be with the Nick Gage Invitational, that very first show,
sure,
is when I felt that I committed myself to the deathmatch scene.
uh-huh.
Was there times that I weaved in and out with the former company? Yes, but then I felt that once ICW started back up, that I knew my lane, I knew where I fit, I knew the people I wanted to be around, and that was the deathmatch community. Deathmatch shows are very, very different than your traditional wrestling shows. And
Sure,
I'm not talking just about what happens inside of the ring, I'm talking more about what happens outside of the ring. It's more like a family reunion, but just in a different town.
mhm.
I just get to see different parts of my family in different areas. That's how I truly feel.
Yeah,
Um, a lot of the fans and the wrestlers go out together after the shows to the same bar, and it's almost like, the $30 or $40, $50 ticket
yeah,
is their contribution to making the thing happen,
yeah,
as opposed to I'm buying a ticket to this thing,
yes.
if that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
it
And
really does. And I mean, I was at that last Australian tour, and I always say, and still always say, it was the best weekend of wrestling like I've ever been a part of. And I have traveled to some
right,
amazing places, but like the vibe and the like togetherness of everybody and just the absolute loving that was it. Like, I mean, you'll remember that last day was one of the most emotional wrestling shows I've ever been to because
yeah,
everybody was just like,
I
I can't
cried like
believe
a
this happened.
fucking baby.
We all did constantly, like the
Yeah,
whole day. Like
yeah.
it was crazy, and it was just really, really special. I felt so
And you want to
happy
you
to be
want
a
to know
part of it.
something wild though?
What's that?
Is that I get to experience that every single time we have shows,
That must be
because
exhausting.
there's always gonna be somebody. I mean, you saw wrestling all over the world,
Mhm.
correct? But that's your standout weekend.
Yeah.
Somebody always has that standout weekend, or somebody says, you know what, this was the best weekend we've ever had. Shout out to my guy Jeff G. Bailey. He's been in professional wrestling way longer than me.
Uh-huh.
He was a manager, he was a commentator, he did everything there was to do with NWA Wildside. When ICW popped back up, he became a fan first, and he just called the last two shows in Chattanooga. But he
Yes.
said right to
Yeah.
me, he said, Danny, all my years, there's never been a weekend like this.
That's
And
awesome.
I get to hear that from so many different people:
Yeah.
wrestlers, fans, staff members, first time people that have never gone to a deathmatch show ever in their life. When they come up to you and they're like, and they're like, what I call it, I call it going through it,
Yeah.
because it's like a outer body experience, emotional thing that you feel for like pretty much the entire night.
Yeah.
Um, but one thing that everybody always tells me, because we do like the double shot weekends and stuff like that,
Hmm.
is, yo, I had such a bad time trying to fall asleep last night.
Really.
And that's like a real physical feeling that people feel
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to deathmatch wrestling. They can't come down from it. It's a high that regular wrestling fans don't understand.
Yeah.
And I feel like even new deathmatch wrestlers, like Anakin Murphy, for example,
Yep.
he was definitely going through it after the match,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that shower sucked for him.
Yeah.
But
Brutal.
I'm sure he stayed up to the wee hours in the morning, probably 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, scrolling on his phone or whatever he was doing, because it's a real physical feeling
Yeah.
that, um, like I said, it's not for everybody to understand,
Yeah.
but those
Like,
that understand it
would you say
understand it.
like the closest thing? I mean, when you talk about like what you and Anakin Murphy did last weekend, which is an amazing match and really like a kind of beautiful car crash before you begin this entire tour, which is sort of crazy because a lot of people had put their feet up, but you were in there. Like it's kind of like if you have like a near miss or a car accident or something like that, you know what I mean? And you've like survived this sort of, your body's like, we just survived a very traumatic thing. And you're like, I know I wanted to do it, but it's like all your survival instincts are still popping off, you know?
And I had a pretty much car crash on Friday with Tank. My body wasn't feeling great on Saturday when I woke up, but I knew for some reason that with the cancellations that we had that weekend, like last minute
Yeah,
cancellations, that I was the best option for the role that needed to be
sure,
put forth.
sure.
And it worked out. I'm walking today. I'm fine.
Well, no thanks to yourself. Like I was interviewing Struggles at this exact time last week. It was the time it lined up, and he had the phone on and was like streaming ICW. He's like, I'm back in. I'm so excited about everything they're doing. And he was watching it as we were speaking. And then he was like, literally stopped talking while we were thinking. He's like, this motherfucker, Danny DeManto's back up on that platform again. Like, and he was stressed about you hurting your ankle.
I scared the shit out of him.
Yeah, so he was like, what the fuck?
I didn't jump off the platform, though.
Yeah,
I got yanked off.
You got him, though. He was like, wait. Like, he was stressed out. He told me that after you hurt your ankle, he came in. He was like,
Japan.
What's that, sorry?
They all just want me to make it physically to Japan, and after that, if all of my body parts fall apart, it's on me.
Yeah,
but they all just want me to make it to Japan.
Yeah, I think I'm more stressed about what you guys are going to do in Japan now that you've finally got the opportunity to be there than than anything else. But let's get there. We won't bury the lead and jump straight to the Japan tour. Let's talk a little bit more about what this run in Australia is going to be. Because last time we had those 4 shows and they were unbelievable. This time it's tied in with the Deathmatch Down Under Dream Weekend, and it is a new tournament.
And the Thursday show.
Yes,
at the brewery.
That's right.
We start off the week at the brewery on Thursday with a loaded show. I didn't know Joel was going all pedal to the metal.
I was actually spewing about it, to be honest, because we can only get over for the weekend, and so we have to miss the Thursday show, which I'm absolutely gutted about.
Oh my God, you're missing me and Vixen.
I know. I'm not impressed with Joel for booking this. He knows I wasn't going to be there. But I'm sure I'll catch all the video. He'll be putting it up. Surely he'll be putting it up. So.
Well, we couldn't do Friday because there's like another big show in Melbourne on Friday.
Like they've got the
with the great Muda.
Yeah, I was about to say it has some fucked shit like Muda, and there was somebody else on it as well that was crazy. But that Thursday show looked absolutely awesome. Then you guys get a day off. Then it is the Dream Show, which is deathmatch tag team tournament.
3 rounds.
Yep.
3 rounds. Tag team deathmatch tournament. It's the first tag team deathmatch tournament ever in Australia.
Correct.
From what I understand.
Yep.
Me and my boy Malcolm Monroe III.
Awesome.
We'll be teaming up. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be special. If I go 3 rounds and lose, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
I would hate to put in all that work and I don't get a trophy.
Oh, absolutely, especially when it's not even that far away from the Japan leg of the tour as well. So, like, that's going to be coming up.
And there's still and what's the next thing you're going to plug?
And then we've got like the next day after surviving that tag team tournament. If you do, we then have ICW No Holds Barred in Australia. Yeah. What volume is that by then? 70 something for 76. There you go. Yeah. On the Sunday. So that is wild. So huge shows, and it's just going to be a party.
I'm fighting Michael Weaver in the chains.
Absolutely, big fan of his.
I've been doing my research on Big Mike, and he brings it, man.
He does.
He brings all he got.
Yeah, watch out for that lariat. That's for sure. He'll level you. Yeah.
I don't need to be getting put out by another Australian. Did you
Absolutely.
know that Shaza McKenzie shot on me? Do you know about this?
No, what's she doing?
Yeah, so me and Shaza McKenzie were having a match at the world famous Berwyn Eagle
Mhm.
in
I remember you
Berwyn,
guys fighting.
Illinois,
Yeah,
and she puts a fucking she puts her own belt around my throat
I remember this.
when I thought that it was gonna go by my like face or whatever,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
she gets me right by the throat and she yanks back as hard as she can.
Jesus
I didn't
Christ.
get a second to put like my finger in there, and I was sleeping.
Oh my
I
God.
woke up and she beat me. That's how she beat me.
She
Because
literally knocked you out.
I was out cold.
She choked
I
you.
woke up in a pile of my own drool, and like there was like glass stuck to my face because like I really hit the canvas.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then like I cut like a half delirious promo putting her over or whatever I don't even remember what I said. But
That's fucked.
yeah,
That is
Shaza
absolutely
McKenzie, she put me right out.
Oh my
Crazy fucking
God.
crazy fucking Australian. Yep.
Jesus Christ. How does that feel when you like lose
Wake
consciousness
up
in
in
a
a
ring?
ring.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's scary
Scary.
because like at first you're waking up and you feel like, oh, I'm waking up from a nap
Yeah.
or whatever. You forget like you're not in
You'd
your
like
bed,
dozy and stuff. Yeah.
and then like it starts coming to you. Oh wait, I'm in a wrestling ring. Oh wait, there's a crowd around me. Oh wait, we are live on IWTV
What
and
the
Shaz
fuck has
McKenzie
happened?
just put
Yeah.
me out cold.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah, yeah.
God. That's so scary.
But it comes back to you in steps
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh,
Like at first you really think you're in your bed.
yeah. That's
At
nuts.
first, you think you're in your bed and you feel like you kind of bit your tongue.
Oof.
If it's a weird feeling,
Yeah. I once had a
it's
conversation
very
with
weird.
Aaron Williams.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
He's had
He got knocked out at ICW.
Yes, he's been that actually that is one of the great stories he told me. But like the amount of times he's had that stuff happen to him where he's like
Yeah,
finished whole matches, fucking put his hands up and shit, and he's had to watch the footage back because he just doesn't remember it. And I was like, that's hectic.
yeah.
But
I've had it. I've had it happen a time or two as well.
yeah.
There was one time it happened to the guy that I was wrestling, and he obviously had a concussion. And like after the match, he just was so fucking annoying because he just kept asking me the same question, like he was delirious over
Wow.
and over
Yeah,
and
that's
over again. Like,
scary. Yeah.
hey, yo, did we do the dive? Or like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm using that for example,
Yeah.
but like he just kept over it, and I had to kind of like be nice about it because I was a part of the
Of
concussing.
course, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Also, it's like it's super annoying, but also it's like concern over the person and all those things. You know what I mean? You're just like this guy
for
needs
sure.
medical help at this stage. So in the tournament, we'll rewind quickly. So in the tournament, there's some huge tag teams that you and MM3 are going to need to go through. You're talking about like the current Big Japan Deathmatch champions in Madman Pondo and Dale Patrick's. People
And
you know very well.
if I get my hands on Pondo, it's our first time ever. We have
Really?
never been in a ring. Yeah, me and Pondo
Really?
have never been in a ring together.
That's wild to me, considering how long
I
both of
only
your careers have been.
and I only fought Dale once.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's crazy. I'm rooting for that to happen because I think that would just be an unbelievable matchup.
Well, eventually it has to happen somewhere.
Yeah,
What about Joel and Jordan Sampson?
absolutely. Absolute killers. Jordan Sampson, a former Dream Tournament winner, beating Neil Diamond Cutter just a couple of years ago. So he's no slouch.
Right.
Obviously, Sampson has been to ICW in America, as has Joel. Joel,
Hmm.
former
A
ICW
couple of
Nospot
times.
champion. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Two,
Two, two times
two-time
for Sampson.
champion.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh, two times champion for
Yeah.
Joel. Jesus, he gets around, doesn't
Yes. Yes.
he? Yeah, absolutely. So no.
Oh, does Joel get around? And then we got Vic Craig and what's his tag partner's
Void
name
Heart.
again?
What's he? He's my boy. Fucking, what's his name? Void Heart is Jonah. I'm sorry, brother. It's been a while. I only know your shoot name.
Is he small? Is he small
No,
like
he
Vic
is
Craig?
not. He is not a small man at all.
Oh, he's a big fella.
Yeah, yeah. Not like titanically big, but bigger
Right. But
than
he's not
most.
small like Vic.
No, absolutely not. No.
Bigger than me.
I mean, I've never met the man in real life, and I have met you. You're
Oh,
not a small man. You know.
yeah.
Maybe he's a little bit shorter than you, but he's like a stocky guy. You know, whatever.
I'm just trying to do my research here.
Yeah, absolutely. You're hoping I
And then
can.
is Guido and his partner in the tournament?
Yeah, I believe they are. So they're Guido. Yes. So there's also the West Melbourne Express, which are Pete Morgan and Terry Shaw.
And then Vixen and the other girl.
Yep, absolutely. Vixen and her partner. I should have got all this stuff up. This is terrible radio by me. Sinful Fortune, which is Vixen and Miss Fortune.
There you go.
Yeah, I can tell you about these two. These are my boys from Perth, Western Australia, from Dude, Where's My Ring? The Pulse, Felix Young and Jared Slate, if you're familiar with them.
They are also on the chains.
Yes, they are. Absolutely.
They're fighting Guido and his partner.
Yes, exactly. Now, is Guido in it, or is he just doing that thing? I think he's in it. I'm sorry, Guido. The
No, I'm
website.
pretty sure he's in the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've
I'm
obviously.
I'm pretty sure that both teams that are fighting each other in the chains on Sunday are in the tournament.
Great. Well, that is good because I love Guido. I really think he is somebody like quite special in the Australian scene, you know, and he's had his ups and downs.
Before all of this obviously existed, there was obviously talks of different deathmatch wrestlers or hardcore wrestlers around the world, and Guido was definitely one of the first ones I knew about from Australia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm talking about like 20 years ago type of thing. Maybe not 20, but you get what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
When Australia didn't have a scene,
Yeah.
Guido was doing hardcore matches on the regular shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He was the hardcore guy.
Yeah.
The same way, in the United Kingdom, Iceman was, crawling around the deathmatch, around the UK scene for years and years and years because it was never accepted.
Yeah.
The style that he wanted to do, and now it's flourishing in the United Kingdom.
Absolutely.
There's I believe 5 deathmatch companies in the UK at this point,
which is wild. And just one in Scotland, Bleeding Gums, which we just did a few weeks ago.
I'm counting that.
Yeah,
one.
absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to Iceman. Him and Necro just put on an all timer, didn't they? At Bleeding Gums, that was wild.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, I loved it.
Because like on like a wrestler's side, I don't want to pull back the curtain too much, but I could tell that neither one of them shared any thoughts with each other before that match. It was just like, hey, see you out there, buddy. We're gonna just fight each other.
Yeah,
because there was no choreographed looking anything. It was just two fucking guys going out
just fighting. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I loved it. I got those names together. I'm actually organised now. So the Treaty of Daitangi is Vic Craig, and Voidheart JT Hollow is the man's name. So lovely.
There
dude.
we go.
There we go.
I do know. I did know that. I did know that.
And then Guido is part of House of Frost with Guido and Crusher Cole. Now, I saw Crusher wrestle, I think it was just before, like when you guys were last here, I think he did like the opening show at like a bar or something. But at the time, he had a bit of a busted knee and stuff. So it's cool to see that he's back active because he's a big man as well. Absolutely.
I'm very excited to see Xavier Black.
Yes. Absolutely.
Because when I was there last time, he looked me dead in my face and said that he had his last death match right in front of me, and that was the last weekend, and that how much ICW and like more importantly like the death match scene in America inspired those type of guys and whatever.
Sure.
And I remember this conversation, and then Joel was like, "Hey, do you want to have Xavier Black on the show?" I was like, "What?" He said goodbye to me.
Yeah. He was done.
And he's like, no, he's still kicking.
He was
you
the
know?
fucking like he like went through a real weight loss journey and then was like the deathmatch champion like just recently.
Again. Oh,
Yeah.
he's on the come up.
Oh yeah. Like just like he had never won the full title until recently. I don't know if he's dropped it since or whatever because I know he had a couple of health issues, but he really
But
like
he
turned
did
things
go
around.
away for a hot
He
minute.
did, yeah. He went through like a huge
Okay.
like it's a little bit harder for me. Obviously, I'm on the other side of the country, so I'm not with these guys all the time. But he went through like a real weight
I'm on
loss
the other side
journey.
of the world, dude. How do I have this information?
I don't know. You're plugged in
Damn,
more than
boy.
me. There's a reason why you're a worldwide renowned promoter,
You're
and I'm
the
just a
news
shit.
reporter. You got to report this type of stuff.
I have never claimed to be a reporter. I'm just a guy that talks to my friends about bullshit on the internet.
You do that.
Yeah, that's kind of all I do.
What were the nice thing that Struggles were saying about me last week?
Oh, I think you'd have to listen to the interview to see the kind of things that Struggle says.
Oh,
He did say that he is. We were talking a lot about, you know, his journey in wrestling and like what led to him taking a break from it. And he did say that like where he essentially quit on the air, and you were like, "Did you just quit on the air?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he said that you were very supportive of him and completely understood. And he took time away, and then as it naturally came back, he said his excitement for it is very, very real again. And he said these recent shows where he was there back on deck, and you guys were all together, he was like, it didn't feel like, oh, it's the reunion tour. He's like, we're back. Like, he's like, it feels awesome. It doesn't feel like rehashing anything. It feels like exciting new things are coming.
yeah. He kind of explained that to me,
Yeah.
and like I'll reiterate kind of like more about what he said towards the end. He said it wasn't like a reunion tour. It was like we all went our own separate ways, got better, and all got back together better than ever.
Yes. Yeah. Which is very exciting, right?
Which that Detroit Chicago weekend really did feel like that. It felt like even Takeda, like and
which is wild.
no insult. This is not an insult to anybody anywhere in the world, anywhere in America, Japan, Australia, whatever. Masashi Takeda is the best deathmatch wrestler in the world.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
And there's a gap between him and everybody else.
Sure.
And I've been watching a lot of Freedoms lately, obviously, because I have to get myself ready for this.
Absolutely.
And I don't even feel that Freedoms books Takeda the way Takeda should be booked. You know what I mean? Like to me, he's light years ahead of everybody there too.
I would completely agree.
I mean,
like quite often I feel like on some of these shows in Japan, Takeda almost feels like an afterthought. Like he just kind of rolls in and like does the tag and fucks off. I'm like, how is he not the champion?
Yeah, he's a tag team champion right now with Ito.
Yeah.
And Ito's great. Fine. But I don't know, man. I mean, maybe it's just like he's on his like, everybody has to take their turn type of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, Takeda took those couple of years off to take care of his daughter after his wife passed and stuff like that.
Sure.
So he should be on the come up.
Yeah.
To me, I don't know.
Absolutely.
But
well, I mean, he is in America now.
I am very honored to have him as the champion, and I don't even know if we're gonna even leave Japan with that belt.
Yeah.
I don't. You know what I mean?
He may have other ideas about that.
Yeah, he might keep it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He's unbelievable. I'm really excited for his match with Redacted. I think that's just going to be so fun. That's like such an interesting matchup.
When is this coming out?
Before the Australian tour. I want to drop it maybe like the sort of the week leading up to it.
Well, so then by then, the public's going to know that the 3 title defenses are Redacted, then John Wayne Murdoch, and then Joel Bateman. On the 3rd day.
Wow.
So those are the 3 Takeda fights for the tour.
They're huge.
He definitely has a full slate ahead of him.
Yeah. He's getting a full serving.
and those are his fights. Even if he loses to Redacted on day 1, he still has to fight John Wayne without the belt and Joel without the belt. Nothing changes.
That's so cool.
But back to Australia.
Yeah, back to Australia. Let's talk about No Holds Barred 76 because I've got the full lineup here and it's absolutely stacked to the roof. So just starting from the top left of your grid here, we've got Madman Pondo versus Vixen. We have
First time ever.
First time ever. Danny DeManto versus Michael Weaver. First time ever.
First time ever.
First time ever. Cody Manhorn versus Xavier Black. I'm going to guess that's first time ever.
It is, and I do love that matchup very much. So
Yeah,
two huge workhorses.
Absolutely. I had the pleasure of meeting Cody Manhorn last week when we did his interview dropped this morning, and
okay,
exactly. He's a lovely man, and I'm very excited for what's to come for him. Then we've got an Australian matchup. We've got Supercharged Valido versus Jordan Sampson, which will be an absolute banger. We've got.
I was told that Jordan Sampson has a bug up his ass, and his goal is to make sure that fight steals that show.
Really?
He felt that he was a little slated in the lineup, and that he wasn't prioritized as a guy that has been in the chains as much as he has.
Sure.
So he's going to take that punishment out on his opponent.
Oh, Valido's been doing good things from what I hear. Whispers on the street is he's been popping off. So I think they're really going to showcase. Yeah.
I hear the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Then it's MM3 versus Vic Craig. Is that a first time ever? Or a rematch?
I believe it is a first time ever one-on-one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If it'll still be a first time ever, even if we have to beat their asses in the
tag team tournament.
In the tag team tournament, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Has Joel announced any of the first round matches yet?
No, not that I have seen just yet. I haven't seen the bracket or anything.
He announced all the team.
He's announced all the teams. Yeah. But I don't know the brackets yet. I was actually getting ready to harass him because I would love to know and do my due diligence before the show. Dale Patricks versus Joel Bateman.
Oh, that was the first announced fight, right?
Yes. Yeah, I believe so.
That was the first. Yeah, because it was like a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
Like I consider them two very, very, like, even though Dale's never held the title, Dale was a very special part of the beginning stages of NHB, and I always love having Dale in No Holds Barred, and I'm so proud of the things that he's doing right now in Japan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm a big Dale fan in and outside the ring, and I want what's best for Dale, and what's best for Dale is to be in a professional wrestling ring, because that's when he's the most happy.
Yeah.
And same with Joel across the board, other than I kind of like to fuck with Joel a little bit more than Dale. But another key part of ICW's history, obviously, because without Joel, we would have never been in Australia the first time, let alone the second time.
Mm-hmm.
And he is two-time champion,
mm-hmm.
and he has one of my favorite series of matches with Casey Kirk.
Yes.
I really enjoyed their stuff. Joel and Dale was definitely my first round pick. It's definitely like I guess you can't really consider that like the show stealer match on the card, because I feel like it's also the strongest match on the entire card too.
Sure.
Yeah,
there's just something about that matchup where I just think they're going to click in a very great way. You know?
I think it might be first time. I don't know if they've ever wrestled one-on-one.
Yeah, I'm unsure as well. And then last but not least on this lineup is the Pulse versus House of Frost, which is Guido and Crusher Cole. So those guys absolutely specialize in tag team and also tag team death if it goes there. So that's also very, very exciting.
And the wild card with that fight obviously is how many rounds are these guys going to go the night before?
Exactly.
In the tag tournament.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many rounds am I going to go? How many rounds is pretty much everybody on that card is in a 3-round deathmatch tag team tournament the night before.
Yeah, with the exception of Valido, I think nearly, everybody else. Oh, Michael Weaver? Oh, fuck, I don't think your opponent is.
My opponent's going to be
fresh.
Fresh.
Oh, no.
And there's definitely 4 people on that show now. Now we're doing real math. There's 4 people on that show that are going 3 rounds in a deathmatch tournament the night before.
That's wild. Good job you've got the
No matter
experience in
what,
doing this
I don't
shit.
know the results.
Yeah.
By all means, I don't even know who I'm wrestling yet.
Yeah.
You know how Joel is.
Oh, well, yeah,
So
exactly. We haven't seen the bracket.
I don't even know what my first round match is.
Yeah.
Let
Exactly.
alone who I'm beating in the final. I mean, who I'm fighting in the final.
Look, you've got to have that attitude. You've got to stay positive. That's how you do it.
Hey, Malcolm's a workhouse. I
He
know he
really
could
is.
do all. I know Malcolm could do 75% of this.
That's it.
work.
Hot tag DeManto at the end. That's it.
That'll be me, brother.
That will be you. All right. I'm scrolling down here. We're going to get this full lineup of all the Japan matches. I know I've seen the graphic before. Oh, I mean, surely.
We don't have all the matches announced yet. But
Sure.
I could spitball the ones that
Let's just spitball it then, because the list. The graphic I'm thinking of is all the talent, and the talent for Japan is unbelievable. It's who's who
It's
of
what dreams
Japanese
are made
deathmatch
of.
wrestling. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So far the first one that we announced was Dr. Redacted fighting Takeda for the belt on day 1.
Absolutely.
And like I said, I spoiled it before, but day 2 he'll be fighting John Wayne Murdoch, Takeda, and then on day 3 it'll be Joel Bateman versus Takeda. And then you go back to day 2 and there's a tag match between me and my doctor against Crazy Monkey Jun Kasai and Rina Yamashita. On day 3, we have Daisuke Masaoka versus Tommy Vendetta. That hasn't been announced yet, but it's going to be announced within the next 24 to 48 hours. So by the time this comes out, I'm going to be fighting. I'm going to have a really special fight in Japan. I'm going to be fighting Quiet Storm on day 3.
Tell me about Quiet Storm, because I believe you guys have quite the history, don't you?
Yeah, so Quiet Storm was one of my first trainers 25 years ago. He taught me how to roll and lock up and stuff like that. We come from the same area. We used to work out at the same gym. And then a couple of years later, he went to Japan for a tour, fell in love with it, and moved there. And I haven't really seen him in probably about like 15 years, and we've never wrestled each other on a show one-on-one.
Wow.
We did a 6-man once, but we've never wrestled each other on a show, and he's been very helpful with this whole process.
Great.
He's gonna probably be the first person I see when I get there off the plane. He's making this a lot easier for me because he's like a translator.
Yes.
He actually teaches English to Japanese people there. That's like his regular job.
Sure.
So yeah. What else is going on those shows? Joel Bateman's going to be fighting Sasaki from Freedoms. The owner of Freedoms is fighting the owner of Deathmatch Down Under on day 2. There's a boss battle on day 1, which is me versus Kobayashi versus Sasaki versus Sakuda. That's a 4-way. Malcolm versus Sakuda is happening on day 2. That's announced already. Sakuda versus John Wayne is happening on day 3. So it's all dream matches.
It's just it's like just tune in. It doesn't matter because everything is going to be unbelievable.
I honestly could have put everybody's names in a hat every single day.
Yeah.
2 names out of a hat or 4 names out of a hat, and nothing is going to be bad.
It's just
nothing.
It's just going to work. It's so exciting. I for one.
Joel Bateman is also wrestling Jun Kasai one-on-one.
Oh, really? That's dream match for him, obviously.
On day 1.
On day 1. Fuck, that's a huge
Yep.
match for Joel. That's so cool. This is
Yep.
I can't actually believe I'm going to be at these shows. It's wild. Like the timing. We were planning on going to Japan anyway. Within a month of kind of when you guys
Are you
announced it.
guys doing anything else? Or are you going to hang out with us, or
We're
what?
there
Are
for
you
2
going to?
weeks. We've got like a lot booked, but we've allowed those like evenings and
But I'm
everything to be
saying,
there.
like, for the wrestling stuff, are you going to hang out like wherever everybody goes? You're going to
Yeah,
go,
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah, exactly. And like,
okay?
if there's stuff going, we're always down to hang out with you guys. But if you're tied up and you're doing sponsors, I don't know what
Yeah.
you're doing or whatever, we can always survive. We know Japan pretty well by now, so
There's a lot of stuff planned, but I definitely have my like go-to things that I have to do before I leave. I
sure.
have to get my jacket. I have
Yeah,
to go to
absolutely.
Kodokan.
Uh-huh.
I have to go to Matsunaga Steaks.
Yeah.
I really would like to go to Kobayashi's gym.
Hmm.
I'm not no, not Kobayashi's gym. Kobayashi's bar,
But yeah, in
and
Yokohama.
I would like to also go to Kobashi's gym,
Hmm.
but I just don't know if that's going to be time wise. I would also love to go to Disney
Hmm.
if it fit, but I feel like that's like a whole day,
It's a whole
and I
day.
don't think
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and I don't think I'm ever going to have a whole day for anything, let
Yeah.
alone Disney.
And that's
Yeah,
the thing, right? It's like you're only there for like a limited amount of time, so you really want to wring the most out of like the most experiences you
yeah,
can out of that time, And I'm sure, like you say,
and
you got to make through that bucket list. Like,
we're doing we're doing 5 live shows,
uh
2 meet and greets. I'm doing a talk show of some sort,
sick.
and that's all work.
Yeah,
And it's over an 8-day period,
yeah,
and I'm still trying to get all those other things that in between. So
absolutely.
there's 2 full days that we're doing, like, no shows.
Yeah,
It's in between the last ICW show and the Sakuda show. There's a 2-day gap.
yeah,
So I'm hoping to try to cross off as much as my go-to bucket list
yeah,
while the shows are going on, if that makes any
yeah,
sense.
yeah. During the days. Yeah,
So, like, those 2 days could possibly be somewhat of a bonus, but I don't think anything. I think it's gonna just be go go go
yeah,
go go go
absolutely.
go the
You
whole
just got
time.
to do that thing where it's like, despite having a death match last night, I need to like set the alarm, get up in the morning, get on the train, and fucking go, and get in as much as I can.
5 death matches.
That's
Five
it.
death matches
It's like, you know what? I'll fucking sleep when I'm back in America. Like that. That's the vibe.
for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
honestly, this I don't know if this might be my first and my last.
Yeah,
My clock is ticking.
sure.
I know my clock is ticking.
Yeah,
I'm going full blast right now, but Japan was Japan was the only thing left on the list.
that's so
I
cool,
mean,
man.
I could, if I wanted to get picky,
Mm.
I could say I really want to make it to Cork and Hall, so
Yeah,
I have to go back.
yeah.
But
Hey, you
like,
can always add things to the bottom of that bucket list, right? You're like, I have no choice, but I've got to go
yeah,
back to. Yeah,
and then, like, a new deathmatch star comes out, and I'm like, damn, man, I got to get my hands on that
yeah,
boy before, you
sure.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or girl,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
it
Hmm.
it that's definitely not. It definitely doesn't sit just with men these days,
Sure. No.
because Casey Kirk,
Yeah,
still my favorite deathmatch run ever,
yeah,
male or female.
yeah. She was something special, wasn't she? Shout out Casey, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Missed. Very missed. Um, I will say that like this, yeah, this is definitely going to be something special. It's going to be something for the books. Getting it all in. If you're, trying to fucking get somewhere and you can't figure it out and quiet isn't around or whatever, and you need help navigating anything, just hit us up and let us know.
oh,
We're
please, yeah,
pretty good at getting around Japan at this stage, and we are filling in the days and things like that. But we can always get
I don't
advice
know
to you, or
shit.
we can get over, or we can do whatever. Just make sure you've got your data sorted on your phone. Get a data sim and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Then Google Maps can get you anywhere, brother. It's like, I need to go to Yokohama, get on the red train, go to the blue train. Like it's,
oh, okay,
yeah, it makes it really easy. Like just making
that's
sure you've
good.
got that internet so
I'm
you can
never
do
gonna
that.
be by myself. He's
Yeah,
gonna be.
you'll get
I'm pretty
minders and
sure
stuff.
he's
Yeah,
gonna. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be with me, like, every step of the way, or somebody's gonna be with me that knows exactly what they're doing.
Absolutely, and they're gonna
From
be
what I
able to
understand.
traverse it even easier than we can, you know. But yeah, if you do find yourself in a thing where there's nobody around and you can't figure out how to do something, or
Because
you want to get somewhere, just
our
by yourself.
hotel isn't close. I think the hotel is
No,
like 45 minutes
the venue
from.
that new venue that you guys are in, that's kind of not really close. You know, it's a little bit of a thing to get to. You've kind of got to train in and then
Yeah,
either walk or bus or whatever. Like, so even just navigating that
yeah,
will be something a bit different.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But the great thing
Yeah,
about
they
Japan
said
is you can kind of walk
it's
everywhere. You know.
centrally located.
Yeah.
It's centrally located,
Yeah.
but like there's not a lot around there.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I
It's like, it's not
whatever.
like
I
right, like
mean,
the train is, I don't know, 15 minutes away or something like that, 10, 15 minutes by
I'm gonna
foot.
be in Japan. I'm gonna be in Japan floating on fucking air.
It won't
So
matter.
for traveling 45 minutes to the venue is it means absolutely nothing
Nah,
to me.
and I love being on Japanese trains. I love walking in the streets. You can drink on the streets. You can have a beer as you're fucking walking along the thing.
Oh,
You can,
really?
yeah, you can go into like a 7-Eleven or a Family Mart or whatever, buy yourself like a 9% strong zero can and just sip on that bad boy as you walk like to the venue and stuff like that. It's you
Oh, wow.
can bring drinks into venues. Like you could go to Currican Hall with a bag of beers and they don't care. Like it's just totally fine. Bring in
So
your own food. Like
I've been told the culture over there is a little bit different than how we're a little bit more loose. They don't really like the wrestlers drinking before the matches.
sure, yeah, yeah. That is
So you
probably
can't.
fair. You're there to do a job kind of thing, but then afterwards, I know they definitely can get
Yeah,
wild. Yeah.
they instantly afterwards. Like they actually, from what I'm told, there's a couple of fans. I've been communicating with a couple of fans that are already in Japan.
Hmm.
Like they're Americans, but they live in Japan now.
Yeah.
And they just went to Tokyo Square a couple of weeks ago to watch the Freedom Show.
Uh-huh.
And on the microphone, they encouraged the fans to buy the wrestlers drinks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so like
They're working.
it's obviously encouraged.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
obviously encouraged.
And usually, like the merch stands and everything like that, you know, everybody's milling around after the shows normally and taking photos and selling gimmicks and like having a
Yeah.
drink and things like that. Is it whenever we've been, it's been like a really chummy vibe, you know, when you go to like a Shinkiba First Ring or even the Korakuen
Yeah.
Hall shows. Like,
That's where Freedoms is.
yes, yeah, exactly.
The Freedom Show is going to be at that
At
first ring.
Shinkiba. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Are you
Are
going to
you
the
guys
Freedom
going
Show?
to that?
Yeah, we're going to the Freedom Show as well. The only one we're not going to is the Die
it's,
Show.
It's Freedoms versus ICW.
Oh, well, that's amazing. That's it. That's even better. I didn't
Yeah.
realize you guys were up in that one as well. So, yeah, we've got tickets
Yeah,
to all the
all of them.
ICW shows, the Freedom Show that's in the middle there. We just can't get to Die because by then we thought everything was done and we're like heading out into the mountains. And then we're like, we can't get back, which I'm fucking spewing
That's
about because Despies versus Jun Kasai in their last match ever in Korakuen Hall on the 26th, but we're like so far away from it by the time that happens.
really.
Yeah, yeah, they just announced it,
That's
and I
the
was
day
like,
after I'm leaving too.
that it's so annoying. I was like, you motherfuckers! Like, I could get there, but I would not be able to get back because there'd be no trains like out to the mountains and stuff. It'd be 2 hours.
Why is it their last match? Because
They've just declared that it's the last one. I don't know whether Despi's like, I'm now signing seriously with New Japan in the sense that they want me to stop doing death matches or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, but that's what it said in the article. You know, there's translations and things. You never know.
What's the latest? Do you know the latest with Mad Dog?
Our Mad Dog.
Yeah, you're a Mad Dog.
I do not. The last I'd heard, he was injured. I don't know where he is. I should really message them. I mean, you can't message Mad Dog, but there are people around him that you can contact.
Yeah.
And I should check up on him actually and see how he's tracking.
Yeah, I was wondering. I know he's not going to be back in time for this weekend, but
Yeah, sure.
I was just wondering if there was a timetable.
Yeah, I'll find out. I'll find out and I'll let you know.
I
Hopefully
still
he'll be
owe him
there
one.
to hang out because he's
I'm
amazing.
hoping he's going to be here too.
Yeah, yeah.
He was a good dude.
Yeah, he's a lovely person. He's the only person that I've ever interviewed on this podcast via phone because he doesn't know how to use the internet, basically. So I had to call him and Bluetooth my phone into the computer.
Well, Vixen definitely knows how to set things up and do things like that.
Yeah, he likes to do things a certain way.
Yeah.
He was up until very recently, like he only got a mobile phone because they stopped using payphones around his area. Like he likes to do it old school, you know?
Really?
Yeah, yeah. He was,
Just to stay disconnected
yeah.
from the world.
He's
I
just like, if I
understand that.
have a mobile phone, people can contact me, and I want to choose when I'm contacted, kind of thing. He's an
I
amazing man.
understand it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get it.
Absolutely. I mean, we've just been chatting now, and you said you're like, I can't even escape all the notifications and things like that. You know, it was,
You should see what the panic is in my mornings every single day. Like I put my glasses on and I could barely like see, and then I could see my lock screen,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden it's like whoosh,
Jesus.
and then the next half hour is just clearing the stuff that came in overnight because I deal with so many people
Yeah,
in different time zones now.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
I'll deal with like you Joel and like Kiego from Japan and
Hmm.
stuff like that at nighttime,
Yeah,
and then the rest of the messages from Japan and like those overseas stuff will come in after I fall asleep.
yeah,
But then I deal with the people in the United Kingdom now too,
yeah.
and Scotland, so they're ahead of us. So they wake up earlier. So it's kind of like I'm never talking to somebody on a business situation that's at the same time as me.
Yeah, it's
They're either
crazy. It's
they're
crazy.
either
It's
trying to go
so
to
hard
sleep
to
or they're
tee
just
up
waking
shit
up.
with the UK. Like when Andy and I like do the Bleeding Gums commentary and post and shit. We have a 7 hour difference, and that's a fuck,
Right.
right? Like, so if we're gonna call it, it's like midnight his time and 7 a.m. my time. You know what I mean? Not ideal
Yes.
for anybody, kind of thing. Nobody's at their
No.
best at
And
either
there
of those
really
times.
isn't ever, like what time are you going to do that other than like maybe noon and 7 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
That would probably be
Which
your
I
best bet.
did. I did do one because we also did one with a gentleman from the States as well. John Bullard was also on one of the shows with us. So we had to line up all three time zones. And I swear by the end of that show, we did that kind of thing night. And by the time we finished, it was, I think, 1 a.m. my time. And I was almost falling asleep in the main event, hey? Like, it was,
Oh my
I
gosh.
had nothing left in me. He's like, oh, that was crazy. I'm like, crazy. Like, my eyes are basically closed. Like, I was just at the end of fucking dog racing, man. Like, there's only so much I can do as a
You saw
42-year-old
that
man.
you saw that Alton Thorne fucking shooting
Promo
his
calling
shot,
you out. Yeah, absolutely. Great promo. But
shooting
who's this
his
motherfucker?
shot.
Yeah. You excited for that? You got to show him a thing or two? Or?
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I'm excited for Scotland for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm excited for that guy.
I think he is, I mean, is the United Kingdom Deathmatch champion right now. And I think how Bleeding Gums is built, and from his first moment in that company, him and Jack Harrop were really. It was kind of great how the promotion organically built around the two of them. You know what I mean? And not around a title and stuff. They just started talking at each other, chirping at each other instantly, and they drew that attention. And I think
Similar to John Wayne and Eric Ryan.
yes,
Remember
yes,
that
exactly.
that
It's
started
on.
off without a belt,
Yeah,
and then I got forced into a title
I know the story well, but hey, it's a
by
great looking title.
everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. It's paid off. I mean, look at it. It's in Japan right now. It's now a
Look where
legit
it is
world
right
title.
now.
I know,
Yeah.
which is wild. I think you and Thorne. I think that's going to be an all timer, man. I'm very excited for it.
One thing I do want to talk about, and we kind of like dangled by it
Sure.
a little bit earlier.
Hmm.
Um, Remember when you brought up struggles needed to take a break?
Sure. Hmm.
Um, and there's some people taking breaks right now.
Yeah.
And I took a break. ICW took a whole ass break for 5 months.
Yeah.
And before the break, you kind of had that constant feeling like this could probably just shut down
Yeah.
at any minute. Like it's fun, but like enjoy the fun while it lasts because this could probably just shut down at any
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
And then I took a 5 month break, and I really needed to have that feeling inside of me that there wasn't something ahead
Yeah.
to really start to like, I don't know, appreciate the level that we were able to bring this to,
Hmm.
and appreciate what we had right at our fingertips, and say, how do I bring this to the levels that I always dreamt of doing?
Yeah.
And during that time, I spent 2 days without a show booked, and then I booked the return date 2 days after the break,
Did you really?
because then I just needed, yeah, because I needed something,
Yeah.
because I'm mental.
Yeah.
Um, and then I started booking the second one and the third one, and then
Not
I
very
was
good at
telling
having time
myself
off.
like, you know what I'm gonna do during this time? I'm gonna get a blueprint of how I'm gonna lay this out, and
Mhm.
how I'm going to make sure that this is either the run that brings deathmatch wrestling into the forefront,
Mhm.
or this is going to be the absolute craziest run with blowing up the bridge at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
But no matter what, people are going to be talking about the ICW run that started in 2025.
Mhm.
And however long this goes, it's going to go.
Yeah.
But there's never going to be a time that people are going to feel like, oh, this is probably one of their B shows coming up this weekend, or were there even announcements for this show? Like, I hear it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hear all the good, I hear all the bad. Um, that's not happening anymore.
Yeah.
We had that slogan, till the wheels fall off. I don't want to hear that anymore, because
Hmm.
I feel like the wheels are pretty much reset.
Yeah.
They're brand new fucking wheels, and something really bad would have to happen to the car in order for the wheels to fall
Sure. I know what you mean.
off.
Like it started like, yeah, like, but it is sort of like a demise mindset, right? Like when you say that slogan, it's like it is going to end. And yeah.
there there was a lot, you know what I mean? Like, we we went from Heart Ballroom to H2O just to be a little bit more comfortable on the financial end.
Uh-huh.
And I felt like that hurt the New Jersey scene a little bit, because it's a little bit easier to get to. I know this doesn't mean anything to you, but it's a lot easier for people to get to the Heart Ballroom than it is for people to get to the H2O venue,
Yeah. How
as far
long?
as
How long are
transportation.
you talking? Like a drive between?
Well, the Heart Ballroom is 4 minutes from the airport,
Okay.
of the Newark International Airport.
Yeah. Right. So even if
So
people are going to fly in,
anyone
yeah, anyone
flying
can
in,
go. Yeah.
it's a quick little Uber,
Yeah.
whatever.
Hmm.
And it's right smack in the center of the state.
Yeah. Okay.
It's 45 minutes from New York if someone wants to get from New York,
Hmm.
and you can get public transportation from New York that drops you off right in front of the building.
Yeah.
So it's very easy. In order to get to H2O, it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours south
Yeah.
of Newark,
Sure.
by car, and by car only.
Yeah.
There's no buses, there's no trains.
Yeah.
So it altered the scene a little bit in New Jersey.
Hmm.
And then I at one point we lost the Berwyn Eagle building, and I had to move over to Logan Square in Chicago, and Logan Square has a little bit more limitations as far as deathmatch goes. So I felt like I was selling out a little bit by not doing like full death in
Yeah.
Chicago, after doing full death in Chicago since the day I ever went out there.
Sure.
I've always been pedal to the metal for the Chicago fans, because I knew it was a big fan base and great market, and I always wanted to give them, an A show.
Hmm.
And I stopped giving them the A show because I had to cut out all the violence. We
Yeah.
couldn't go over guardrails. You couldn't use any of the,
Hmm.
there was so many rules.
Yeah.
Um, but now we're back in Berwyn. We have a pretty cool rivalry going on between Chicago and Detroit, which is a fun little thing.
Hmm.
When I was growing up, living through the ECW days, New York and Philadelphia used to rival each other.
Hmm.
And it would always be like, fuck you, Philly, fuck you, New York. And it would always go back and forth. So I feel like we needed to recreate something like that.
Yeah.
And we've recreated it with Chicago and Detroit.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really cool. It's funny, like those logistics. It's something that probably not a lot of fans always think about, like how the logistics of venues and things like that can actually drastically affect what a promoter's doing. You know, like you say, you had to make these choices, or we're going to save a little bit
And
of back end and
and,
things like that, and it
and, if,
affects the
and
shows.
if you're at the top, if you're at the top of a scene, which I will humbly say ICW definitely is the number one deathmatch company in America.
Absolutely.
You can alter an entire um, territory with your own actions.
Yeah.
Because if I go to a smaller venue, then the person underneath me is going to go to a smaller venue, and so on.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
not going to be a show. Perception is everything.
Yeah.
So if I'm putting 200 people in a building, and what I'm considered is the top in the area, there's not going to be anybody doing above that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're setting a
Excluding
benchmark. Yeah.
GCW
Yeah.
when they do their tournaments, when Tournament of Survival pops up and the NGI pops up, those are destination shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like 2 times a year, wherever GCW runs that, obviously they're going to pull a crowd.
Yeah. Absolutely. You despite being bad at taking a break, like you said, you took a break and within days you were already planning the new thing. Was it still nice to? Because I think another thing that doesn't really get talked about is the burnout isn't just from like the shows themselves, right? It's like the travel, it's the logistics, it's the in and out, it's the talking to people, it's like all the tiny things. Like I've never been a part of a touring wrestling company, but I have been a part of a touring band. And we did that for like many years, right? And you're on top of each other and you're in and out of cities and you're just doing this one thing and then you're leaving. And everyone's like, it must be a party. It's not, it's fucking work. You know, it can be absolutely exhausting. And then you were doing it at such a big and regular scale. That does take wear and tear on
It's
everybody.
24 hours a day.
Yeah,
If I'm awake, you know what I mean? My ICW is a 24-hour,
yeah. The
7
phone's
days a
going
week,
off, people around the world selling merch, like doing
constantly.
things. Yeah, just nonstop. Yeah.
Um, what I do for myself, which I would definitely recommend to other people because it's definitely a positive thing. I go to the gym every day, and when I go to the gym every day, hitting that do not disturb
Sure.
on
Yeah.
my phone is the biggest motivation to get to the gym every day
That's great.
because I know that for that hour and a half, to 2 hours that I'm spending in the gym, no one can get a hold of me except for my mother if she calls me.
Yeah.
But
She's on
she
the
doesn't
she's on
call
the
me.
exemption
So
list.
my mother doesn't call me.
Yeah.
She only texts me. So if she calls me, that means there's a problem.
Yeah, sure.
And she's the only person that has that access to me. And I do feel that it's a part of the mental part of this
Yeah.
that I have to learn because I don't want to hit that burnout again.
Yeah.
At least not for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I never really took a break outside of injuries. Um, ever in 25 years. Like there was never like a hey, I'm just not doing this because I'm gonna go work this regular job. I never did that. Like
Yeah.
I was the grind always was either as a wrestler or as a promoter.
Yeah.
Um, as a promoter, since NHB1 started, there was never obviously a break until that 5 months, and I can't tell you how important that break was.
Yeah.
Because if the break didn't happen, I would still be behind that 8 ball, struggling to draw a crowd in Chicago because I'm running B shows in Chicago.
Yeah.
Um, and you could even see it on my face in the ring.
Yeah.
There's
You
so many
shared that
pictures
picture
and
or whatever.
videos.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm sitting there breaking little pieces of glass in my lap, depressed as all fuck,
Yeah.
saying, "Why am I still doing this,
Yeah.
dude?" There's been times that I'm standing in Gorilla, my music playing. I could hear my music playing, and I'm spraying my face with water, saying, "Wake the fuck up, asshole!
Yeah.
Wake the fuck up! You have to
Yeah.
go do this."
Does it when you're feeling that or have felt it? Yeah, I think I get it too. Like where I definitely feel burnout. Does it? like to me it feels like a flatness, right? Like I'm normally like a pretty motivated person and I get, there's things I'm into and I feel excited about them. And there's nothing worse than the feeling of like turning on a show or like going to do a thing that you like, but just feeling nothing about it. Like I just feel this like empty flatness in my chest where I'm like, I can't get up for this. You know what I mean? I can't feel
This has been
excited for it.
this is
Yeah.
all I've ever wanted to do.
Yeah.
So if it's the thing that I've always wanted to do and I'm doing it
Yeah.
and I don't like it, there's a problem
That's
there.
fucked.
There's
Yeah,
a problem.
absolutely.
And that's in me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have to remember I didn't come this far just to fucking come this far. And I didn't have my grandmother when I was 2 years old read me back the results of my action figure company that I started when I was 2 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this has been
It's
my
a life.
entire
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And all I ever wanted to do when I first started training was go to Japan. And I never went to Japan.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to Japan and I'm fighting the crazy fucking monkey.
Yeah. It's wild.
You know, it's just it's crazy, and some people will try to do a little chuckle on the side and be like, "Oh, well, you brought yourself to Japan and you gave yourself the crazy monkey."
It's not that
Those
fucking
people,
easy, dude.
those
It's not that
those
easy.
people are stupid.
Yeah.
Those people are stupid.
You don't
That's
just
what I'm
walk
gonna
into
call those
Japan and
people.
go, "Hey, John, let's fucking like." It's not that easy.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, I'm a mark promoter, Jun Kasai. Can you please just come wrestle me and carry me because I don't. No, I very much earned everything that is ahead of me.
absolutely.
Um,
And the point is, you're not
I
also
will.
you're not the kind of person that's ever just gonna pay money and throw it like in a fucking hole to go and tick
No, I
this
don't
thing off.
have it.
The point is
I don't
that you
have it to
want to do
throw it.
this
I
tour and have it
promise
be
you.
profitable and like be flown there and do these things. That is the goal, not just to be there.
Yeah,
Because you could have been there
right.
fucking any time. You can get on a plane, you can just go. You know what I mean? You can pay and be in a
I could
match.
just
Like,
go to Japan.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Or you
I
can.
always
I'm sure
wanted to
you can
go
put
the
on.
right way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, and feel like you said, you want to fucking go to Ribera, and it's like you get taken there, and you fucking have that experience, and you do those things.
Yeah.
That's the goal, and that's to do the things, but doing it the right way is the way to do it, not just fucking strolling in and paying your way, because then you're just doing fan service. You're not actually achieving that goal. You know.
And I think I'm gonna make a couple of more dollars doing it this way than I would have done it if I was just a wrestler.
Well, yeah, exactly. That would just cost
You
you
know what I
money.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think it's
I'm
going to
bringing
be very
my
exciting.
entire company there.
Yeah.
We're running 3 of our own shows. We're performing on 2 other shows. I'm doing a talk show. I'm doing 2 meet and greets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like this is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm doing it with the people that I picked to
Yeah.
do it with.
Yeah.
I wasn't forced to use anybody. The Japanese talent, he said, "Hey, what talent do you want to use?"
Mm-hmm.
I gave him a list.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody said yes, and I used exactly who it was first round draft picks across the board,
Yeah.
except Cruel. Except Cruel.
Yeah.
Cruel was definitely a first round draft pick. He just couldn't get off of
Which,
real life
could you
work.
imagine Cruel in Japan? Fucking hell, I wish he was going.
That's why I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing for it, because I really think that if I bring him there,
Yeah.
he's probably going to turn into like that's going to become his
That's
full-time
Gojira
thing.
shit. That's like fucking.
Yeah, it's like Bruiser Brody
Yeah.
getting brought over there the first time. Like his life is going to change most
Yeah.
likely whenever he goes over there the first time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. No, that's amazing. Very, very exciting. I think the connections and stuff you're going to build, the relationships and things like that, I could absolutely see it becoming like an ongoing thing. And I just hope that's the case. So as we wrap up, I've got...
That's the goal.
That's the goal. That's it. And then
The
truly
goal is
worldwide
for
company.
the first time for them to realize the value
Yeah.
of the chains
Mm-hmm.
and the difference
Mm-hmm.
between just a regular company coming over there and doing another thing that's just like everything
it's going to
else.
feel so different to what they are used to. It's going to feel so different.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they know that could happen 2 times a year, for example, going forward, I feel like it's going to be an attraction every
Yeah.
single time.
Absolutely. I think
And there's that crazy monkey that I have a job, and I have to get him back to the United States.
yeah, sure.
I have to.
Yeah.
There's a little honey badger that has to fulfill
He's got
his
to fulfill
destiny,
his destiny. Yeah.
and I really feel that that needs to be done in the United States and not anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. I think yeah, as Neil looks to wind down, that would be something amazing if he could achieve that goal before he finishes up. The I've got kind of two things I think as we start to wrap up here. I think let's just have you shout out what you think. And it's going to be wild. Is there any way that you can pick what you think is going to be your match of the weekend in Japan? And then I want to hear when we hit the Do Not Disturb in the gym, what's on the Danny DeManto playlist. They're the last two things as we start to finish up.
Okay. Um, on the playlist, when I'm working out, I listen to a lot of Spanish music,
Okay.
which people would never expect because I don't understand Spanish completely.
Uh-huh.
But it gets me fired up and it gets me going.
Do you mean
Um,
like Spanish Latino hip hop, or are you talking like flamenco
yeah,
guitar?
no,
Like,
like reggaeton,
mm-hmm,
if you know what that means.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's just like very upbeat and
Yeah,
fast paced,
absolutely.
so it
Mm-hmm,
gets me going.
mm-hmm.
Um, and what was the other question again?
And then if you had to pick a match, if somebody could tune in for the whole weekend and had to pick one match to watch, what would it be?
Of mine or the whole weekend?
Let's do both.
I can't, I can't,
Putting you on the spot, sorry.
I can't bet against Jun Kasai.
Yeah.
So, teaming with Doctor Redacted against Jun Kasai and Rena, I would have to probably pick for mine.
Yeah.
As much as the Quiet Storm fight means a lot to me,
Mm-hmm.
and the boss battle definitely means a lot to me. I'm fighting the greatest.
Yeah.
To me, he's the greatest of all time. Takeda is the current best,
Yeah.
but to me, Jun Kasai is the greatest.
Sure.
Um, I don't think that we're gonna have the best fight of the weekend though. So let me think about the best fight of the weekend. Uh,
So
well,
hard.
I have John Wayne versus Takeda, so I can't.
Yeah.
How do you bet against that?
I
You
mean,
know what I mean?
these are worldwide aces, right? Like that's
And Takeda ducked John for so long. Like they've had matches now, but there's just like there's a special little connection with those two. And you
yeah.
know, if Redacted doesn't win the belt
Mm-hmm.
on day one,
Mm-hmm.
it's John Wayne fighting for the American Deathmatch title again against Masashi Takeda in Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
my
you're talking about
that's
the
my
guy
pick.
like who was the uncrowned champion of ICW, no holds barred, almost from the start. You know, then the
Yeah.
first
Oh
champ, and
yeah.
yeah,
The
absolutely.
belt was created to be put on him.
Yeah.
And that decision was made by the locker room, not by
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah.
I was bullied into making that fucking belt, and the people that told me to make the belt were everybody except him. And they said, listen, to solidify him as your guy and as the top guy
Mm-hmm.
in this scene, you have to put a belt on him, and you have to make that belt the best belt in the world.
Yeah.
And what I could do real fast to pretty much end up the night, think about the title history of the American Deathmatch World Championship.
Wild.
John Wayne Murdoch, Reed Bentley,
Mm-hmm.
Eric Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
Casey Kirk,
Mm-hmm.
Joel Bateman twice,
Mm-hmm.
Hoodfoot,
Mm-hmm.
Atticus Cogar.
Bobby Beverly.
Did I say well, Bobby won it for the 24 hours. Did I say Reed
The names
Bentley?
on the plate. You said Reed. Yep, absolutely.
Oh, and Brandon Kirk.
Brandon Kirk, and then Masashi Takeda.
All hitters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
So who so?
I didn't want a belt, but once I had a belt, I wanted to make it the best belt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Worldwide. Absolutely.
And that's another two people that I do wish that I had in Japan with me, but it was just never in the cards.
Yeah,
But
sure.
the Kirks definitely crawled for us to run at this point,
Yeah.
and I'm bummed that they didn't make it to the finish line and they didn't make it there.
Sure.
But
Mhm.
you never know what the future holds. But you know, I do wish that Casey, Brandon, and Cruel were joining us in
Yeah, they're going to be missed.
Japan.
It's going to almost. I know we only did the one run of shows like the last time, but it's going to feel weird not having Casey and Cruel there. They were such a huge part of like the first Australian tour, you know.
Oh, the Australian tour too. Yeah.
Yeah.
This tour is going to be very, very different than that last one. The last one was very emotional.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of things that were pinned up against us going into it.
Sure,
We
yeah.
almost like the plug was almost pulled on us at the airport
Yeah, I remember.
in
Stressful.
California.
Yeah.
You know, so and most of us were experiencing international travel for the first or second time.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of emotions. This time around, we're a little bit more seasoned.
Mhm.
I've been to multiple countries with Malcolm already,
Mhm.
so I kind of know what that's entailed. I just got a message from Japan and a bunch of Japanese writing that I'm gonna have to translate when I get off the
Get that into Google
air
Translate.
with you.
Well, business is calling, so I'm going to let you get out of here. Tell everybody where to find everything.
Please send my
ICW.
love to her. Please send my love to her.
I will. She's asleep right now,
And
but
tell her to have that Hennessy on fucking rock.
we'll have it ready for you. Don't worry about that. Danny's shouting out my wife. We all got to know each other pretty well last Australian tour, and we get on awesome. I will absolutely tell Amy that you said hello, and we can't wait to see you in person, my man. Tell everybody where to find you and find everything and support ICW.
Facebook, ICW No Holds Barred. Twitter, ICW NHB. The same thing on on Instagram, it's ICW No Holds Barred, I think.
I'll put the links in the show notes. It's fine. I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Everybody knows where to fucking
worries.
find it. If you listen to this, you know what the fuck it is. So it's fine.
100%. If you made it this far, you know how to fucking contact me, motherfucker.
That's it. So make sure you do that.
I can't wait to be in Australia with you, my brother.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thank you so much for your time, man. It's so great to see you. Can't wait to give you a hug.
And just another side note, you might not even know, Seizawa is coming to Australia.
I did know that. I messaged him when I found out. I was like, what do you mean? I saw him just when we were last in Japan. He's another very good friend of ours, and seeing him in Australia and drinking beers with him and you at the same time probably is going to be an absolutely wild experience. So I can't wait.
Right?
What fucking world do we live in, hey? What world am I going to be in the room with Danny DeManto, Madman Pondo,
we worked very hard to get this world.
Yeah.
We worked very hard to get. That's another one, Pondo, that really fucking crawled to make sure that we could all do what we're doing now.
He really did.
Shout out
Like,
Pondo.
you talk a man that was fucking defending the JCW title in Australia when nobody had even been here, you know what I mean? Wrestling Mad Dog in a Chinese restaurant and stuff. Like, he's grinding it out like so long ago.
That happened.
That absolutely happened. He dropped the belt. He wasn't even supposed to. They don't even know he did it. Mad Dog was the JCW champion for like a week.
Oh.
Absolutely wild. Thank you. Thanks everybody for listening. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled on IWTV. If you're not going to be able to get to these shows, they'll all get there and you'll be able to see everything ICW No Holds Barred in Australia and in Japan. So until I'm looking at Danny DeManto, you know what it's going to be. It's peace, love, and fucking deathmatch wrestling. Peace out. Thanks for listening. Faces and Feels is a proud member of the Count Out Podcasting Network. It is created and hosted by me, Rafe Houston, edited by myself and the amazing Ryan Neitze, and the show is available on all good podcast platforms, so please go rate and subscribe. You can follow the show everywhere on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc. at Faces Feels Cast, and you can check out the Count Out Network and all our sister shows over there at Count Out Pod. If you'd like to book me for commentary, have an interview request, a topic suggestion, or you just want to say hi, you can email us at facesandfeels@gmail.com. With all that said, thanks for listening, and please support our friends and sponsors. Peace.
This has been a Count Out Podcast.
Hello, my name is Jessica and I'm the host of Jumping Knee Pod, a modern day All Japan podcast. Join me and a guest each month as we cover all that went down in the ring, outside of the ring and everywhere else. Big title matches, tournaments, character arcs, storytelling, feuds and more. It's all covered on Jumping Knee Pod. Look out for a bonus episode every once in a while covering a variety of All Japan topics. So make sure you tune into Jumping Knee Pod. It's a new All Japan podcast for a new All Japan era.